you can actually see a little bit. Oop, oop. Okay. And here we go. Here we are. It's happening. Here. Oh, just here. Just put it up here. Okay. Okay, welcome. Welcome back to the stream. And today we're working on chapter. You know what? That's dumb. Let's minimize that. Here. Sorry. That's just here. Let's put this off of here. There we go. I didn't mean for that to be on the screen. Not that I'm hiding anything. It's just that's stuff that's supposed to go off screen. Uh, give me a second. I'm just refreshing the restream page because it doesn't stay up to date for some reason. And maybe it shuts off your stream, and YouTube will still be continuously playing. Rumble will actually pause the video if you're not directly on the tab. Okay, so it's welcome. Just a straight up welcome there. Okay, good. Alrighty. So today we're working on chapter 9. Okay, so I won't have any extra help. Where is okay, get that. Open. Not that. This. I don't know why I did it this way instead of just opening the favorites in the file manager. Alrighty, where is... Oh, Zanzibar, there we go. Okay, so we're actually working on chapter 9 now. Truth be told, I haven't really tested chapter 7. Dang. Dang it. Okay. Anywho, but maybe I'll test it. Maybe I'll test it on Friday because maybe I'll get this done before Friday. Maybe today and tomorrow will be all I need to finish this chapter, and then I can get to testing it. Maybe. Okay, so we're gonna figure out where to put in, and also today, sometime today, I'm not starting off with this, but sometime today I'm going to work on a little bit of the mapping. I'm gonna use that one tool to kind of start mapping things a little bit, and kind of based on where I'm at the time. I also think I'm also trying a different thing where I'm scheduling my deals now. If you schedule them, that means that there will be a page that says upcoming, and people will get notified that has notifications on, which arguably probably not that many here to the stream, but um, there's that, and then I'm also thinking about thumbnails. Now I have the picture. Um, I have the picture in Restream, which is my little castle thing, Enchanted Lands castle little sketch that I did like years ago, like dang 7 years ago now, whatever, 2019. So quite a bit of time, but And so I'm thinking maybe what I'll do is I'll start pre-making thumbnails. Oh yeah, so I started scheduling just this week, and I realized, you know what, I can schedule this part two, and I already did that as well. So now I have two streams in Restream page that corresponds to both parts, and that way I don't need to. I'll still need to change both of them. I'll need to change both of the titles as I change the episode number or whatever. But I'll have the two separate deals so that they're both scheduled for the next day, which should be pretty cool to do, I guess. On a side note, uh, if I do, if I'm pre-scheduling, um, yesterday I scheduled today's for um, at the when I was done at the end um, after I concluded part two. But today, since Rumble only does it like a 24-hour thing, I might do the pre-scheduling like a couple of hours later or at some time later maybe, so that it's slightly less than 24 hours, just so I don't like screw up the window or whatever. So Um, but I'm gonna start pre-scheduling these, and then I'm gonna start thinking about the thumbnails. The only bad part about the thumbnail is the picture that Restream gives is fine. It works as a thumbnail, but the VOD does not stay on the thumbnail. The VOD actually represents uh, some random spot in the video itself. So I'll have to like manually upload the thumbnails to those. But I'm gonna start. I think start doing thumbnails. I'm gonna start sketching thumbnails for kind of based on whatever I'm working on at the time. Uh, so each time, in this case, it might be a chapter. Um, it might be the one after Zanzibar, which is the princess escaping. So I might do a sketch or a thumbnail or something having to do with that. Uh, to see if the thumbnails make a difference in people chiming in. You know. Anyways, so yeah, I'll work on the thumbnails. Maybe the titles, possibly. Um, I know I'm not really sure how to handle streams so that they work more like videos, because in a regular video you need a beginning, middle, and end. You kind of kind of the storytelling aspect. You need a like a hook that hooks somebody in first 30 seconds. And usually you can show that by showing what you're going to be showing in the future, so you can actually rearrange your video. But live streaming is a little different. Maybe I'll have some to-do lists. Maybe I'll have some what do they call those? Progress meter, progress. You know, like like a loading screen or whatever. Progress meter for where I'm at in the project, and maybe I'll start creating a bunches of charts and junk so that I can pop up and show them up, and so people can start actually looking at, oh, this is, it's actually making some progress in here. Anyways, let's get to the thing. So even though I was on time, I wasted about 10 minutes, not really on purpose, but anyways. So let's look through these and find out what would be the best one or two places to put decision points in. Okay, so Zanzibar travels to a few villages and collects some tax money in between shows. Uh, then Zanzibar starts putting some of the money he's collected in his own pocket. So Zanzibar doesn't know Max's henchmen following him. He doesn't realize that they know. Okay, so he doesn't know. So he's doing his deal like normal. He's doing tax collecting on the way to doing some shows. Okay, all right. Max is in the mines overseeing the quicksilver extraction when a messenger speaks quietly to him, finds out he's been stealing the taxes, but doesn't know where Zanzibar hides it yet. Then sends a few of his men to Zanzibar's room, the Grand Enchanted Landing, to find it. They finally find the stash in the room and take it. And I might change that to Chillington because obvious place to put the money would be in his hotel room, and um, maybe Zanzibar has found a place to put it in. He's heard about Chillington, and he knows they're the dead, and he also knows that you can't really. I just made up this thing where you can't speak to the ghost there, you know. So and maybe there's a point too. Maybe later on there's a puzzle that takes you into Chillington, or what do I call it? Resterton now. I call it Resterton. Maybe there's a maybe there is a puzzle at some point where you actually have to talk to the people of Resterton to find something out, and um, you know, and that can be a thing. That can be a deal. The pretense that nobody's ever talked to people in Resterton because they're dead, and so the idea is, um, anyways. So maybe there's a future puzzle idea there later. Actually, maybe Max could actually, you know, uh, maybe Max has to do some sort of magic to allow him to talk to them, and there's possibly something I could do. Okay. Anyways, Max proposes one final big show in the hotel. Since Max has enough people for his mind, Zanzibar agrees. Max proposes because he feels he has enough money to live like a king. Now, now he can take it easy. He figures that one final show is a good deal. At the Grand Enchanted Landing. You know, it's funny though. Okay, so let's actually go into the game here, into the Redot editor, and let's check. Oh, you know what? Here, let me do something real quick. Uh, just disregard that message. In fact, let's go into sources. Uh, Here, and I am no, that's not actually what I want. What am I doing? Not what I want. Let's go back to like. There we go. Let me do something off screen, please. That's the deal here. I forgot to start a Discord. Although I'm not really posting anything in Discord right now. Uh, what's going on here? Just a second here. Okay, where's the little I'm streaming thing? Huh. Hey, what is? Chelsea. Oh, just a second. I'm looking at something here in Discord. Just give me a quick sec here. Uh, okay. Never mind. Let's go to the rest of the news, mentions, announcements. CJS has got the version 8.16.0. Announcements: Easy Tree procedural tree generator is free, open source. Nice. Okay, I'm not interested in that right this second. Actually, I'm not interested in much right this second. Where'd the one mention go? General? All the way down. Okay. Where is I'm streaming? Okay. There we go. Move this over to my other monitor. Disable. Uh, okay, so let me pull up IRC just a second, and then I'll put it back on desktop. Here, I'll put this off screen right now. And greets, 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 greets. Okay, let's go back to desktop. There I am. Here I am. Yeah, T3 and T4. That's right. So I didn't remove one, but the I only had the extra space in that one. So yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll. What's up, guys? Hello. Streaming. Stream is up. Stream is up. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to this. All right. So I didn't ultimately remove one of those pages. I just used the bridge as though it was one that I was separating, and which is fine. Actually, it's fine. It's fine if it's actually fine if there's a point in between, like in between two deals. Oh, and so that's what I was thinking about removing, right? Removing a title. Um, and I still, in a way, I still might do that. Okay, so he travels to a few villages. He starts putting money in his own pocket. The henchmen, as they're following, they know about it. Uh, then they get a message to Max, and then he tells some of his men to go to find to find the stash. And then Max proposes a show. Really, he's planning to betray him here at the end. Whole show, and then Corvus steals money from the audience as usual. Max yells he took all of his money and walks away towards the pirate train. The crowd looks angrily towards Zanzibar, distracts the crowd with a few cheap tricks, and escapes out the back with his loot. Okay, so the question is, where would be a decent place to put any kind of decision point in here? Cool. And you already know what I'm doing. And let's leave everyone out of so we start the usual uh, going through chapter 9. Which means if I finished it, it means I finished 2 chapters in 1 week, referring to my game being divided up into sections. Sections I call chapters. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Fester Blatz, World of Wonders. Fester Blatz. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. You know what? I just thought of something. I don't know. I don't know if you could get a copyright strike playing like old ad lib music from games. Um, ad lib slash sound blaster tracks. I might attempt after asking the person that is actually putting them on YouTube if I could play his um if I could play his video in the background of my streams, maybe. Uh, if he'd let me do that. If he did let me do that, and uh, YouTube didn't like ping me, uh, I might put that in my background. Anyways, I'm thinking of Space Quest 3, and there's Fester Blatt's World of Wonders, where you get the ORAD on a stick, and there's a case with there's some sort of gem that you get from there. I forget exactly, because I forget exactly the full thing. Um, but I'm thinking of the song that plays. I don't know, but that's what I was humming to myself. Okay. So really, this is uh kind of part of the same thing, sort of. This has to do with the money that he's been taking, and uh, right midpoint is he starts taking the money. That the henchman's been following him. They now they know about it. Now they tell Max about it, and then they have to find it before this other part takes place right here. Um, and so in a sense, these two are kind of linked, right? You know, I've noticed you've been stealing from me. I wonder though. Uh, Well, it's telling him that he's stealing, that he knows he's been stealing. Um, classic villain, like, tell you what I'm doing move. Well, actually, that's not really what he's doing. He's threatening him. He's threatening him and saying this is his last show. So, and maybe it's a threat, kind of like he doesn't really realize what he means by that. It's an ominous kind of like this is your last show. Maybe he doesn't tell him that he knows he's been stealing or something. Maybe I'll rejigger this a little bit, and maybe what happens is, oh wait. Let's see something here. Let's rejigger this a little bit here. Okay. So what happens instead now is he proposes final show, and then Zanzibar performs the whole show. Here, he gets ready. Um, okay. At the end, uh, at the end of the show, Max tells Zanzibar he knows he's been stealing, and that this was his last show. Okay. Just then, Max yells that he took all of his money, and then he walks away toward his private train. Okay, so this kind of changes how it how I handle it. Um, the only question is there any kind of initiative or whatever that here? Let me switch back to here. Okay, is there any initiative here? Is there any thing in here that shows that there could be a decision point, a choice? I know typically I use the AI for that, but in an effort to not use AI so much, maybe what I should do is maybe I should um, 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 okay, let me think about this for a second. So anyways, just coming up with this stuff by myself. I'm real good at coming up with story ideas. I have an idea, and then I kind of play it in my head like a movie. It you know rattles around up there for a while. I get more ideas to add to it. I usually have to tell somebody, and that's sort of how I work. But when I'm doing this, and I have to actually come up with something within the framework of stuff I've already created, and then I have to go, well, uh, where could you put something in here? Where it says something that has to happen? What has to happen here? Well, in this chapter, uh, this is the second half of Zanzibar's story arc, and so Zanzibar helps. Uh, Zanzibar supposedly helps Matt. Max supposedly helps Zanzibar, right? And so now he's setting exchange for some tax collection. Really, it's just so that they can um, grab audience members for the. I spelled that wrong. Audience members for the show. But he just comes up with something like, "Oh, you can collect some taxes for me or something," as a as a thing, as though he were trading him this deal for helping him out. Okay, and so when we open chapter 9, when we're right in the middle, basically, he starts doing that. He starts collecting the tax money in between shows, and then he starts pocketing some of the money, right? Okay, so and that actually works also for like you're doing the Act 3 thing, or you're doing the thing of the inciting incident, and then the plot point 1 and 2, and then that sort of thing a little bit. Anyways, it's like a little bit. Nope, on carnivore, or sort of a lazy carnivore, or keto, or wish diet. Uh, okay, so what happened? Let me think what happened in this chapter. What's the big takeaway? What's the big deal? The big deal is Zanzibar starts stealing from Max. Max finds out about it. Um, and this is what kind of eggs Max to propose this big show, this final big show. Um, and Max does have, it's basically just coming to a head now. Max doesn't need that many people anymore. He's got pretty much most of what he needs. Zanzibar agrees because now he has enough money. He figures he can just kind of live either there in Enchanted Lands or anywhere else. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and then so he performs the last show, and then of course Max. So then Max kind of threatens him. Like it's like an unspoken warning or threat. Threat. It's not. How do I say it? It's like he's telling me he knows it and his time is up. Basically, he's confronting him, and then um and so then after the show, right? He tells him that. Then he just before um just before he leaves, he yells at the crowd that maybe he signals to his men. He signals to his men and say, "Hey, I somebody stole my money," and then another one does the same thing, and then pretty soon they're like, "Hey, he took our money after him," and Max is leaving at this point, and then the crowd starts turning ugly on Zanzibar after just enjoying his show for you know just previously, and then Zanzibar escapes. He manages to escape by distracting them a little bit with a few of his tricks. Now, is there anything in here that says, you know, I have to figure something out, right? Well, I guess I'll go ahead and use the AI anyways. I mean, that's what I've been doing anyways. Chat GPT. Okay. I guess this doesn't matter. There we go. Um, let's do. Okay. ChatGPT probably doesn't even know where we were. Okay. It's having a problem. Maybe I should start a new conversation. I don't know when's the last time I used them. Maybe I was using Grok here just not too long ago. Let's not worry about. Okay, let's just stop. Let's do a new. Uh, let's pull up my notes. I guess I should always do. I should always do this prep work before, right? So that I'm not having to screw around with. This is from January 1st. See. So if you check out decision points as far as the story is concerned, I'm using Engine, which is a fork. I rebooted. So I originally had 93 story beats. Okay, Control C. Here. B. 20 chapters. And right now I'm working on chapters 7 and 9. It concerns the character Zanzibar Great. Actually finished chapter 7, but since the same story arc uh, I'm now in the middle of uh, figuring out decision point locations in chapter 9. Okay. Zanzibar is a thief, is a magician in our sense, as in magic tricks. Prestidigitation. Uh, in our world, our realm, and he's just escaped police into Enchanted lands. Okay. Please acknowledge, and I'll paste his story arc after you've replied. Okay, let's see if we got. Um, knee deep in. Okay, so let me yeah. let's do this. Select all, copy, and before I paste it, here 7, great. And where is that? Okay. Chapter 9, then and I don't know if okay. All right. So the reason there's no chapter 8 because chapter 8 concerns different set of characters at this time. So I'll be working on 8 after getting. Okay. But we're concerned right now with chapter 9, and I would like you to give me some impressions on where you think decision points should go. And you and please keep answers concise and don't give any other advice other than what I asked so I can stay on track. Best spot for decision points. Purely internal, no plot change. When Max learns Zanzibar is skimming, player reaction as Zanzibar is unaware. Tone setting icon. When Max proposes the one final big show, player chooses Zanzibar's attitude, confident, suspicious, or greedy. Alters dialogue flavor only. Yeah. I mean, okay. I mean that's the reason. I guess. Okay, so I'm looking at it. I'm kind of going, well, there's nothing in here really that says that you have to solve something or you have to fix something or you have to do something, right? It's just matter of fact. So essentially, it's almost like a cutscene um, chapter. And of course, I don't really want to do a bunch of cutscene chapters. That's just a bunch of cards, and it's not interactive in any way. So, but I can still do the thing where you basically get to see how you experience it. It's just it's just a flavor thing. It's just an atmosphere, or what comes first or whatever. Because the phase 1 is purposely limited, so all I'm doing right now is just making sure that I have interactive points in here, and then later on I'll actually have puzzles. I'll even have puzzles and things for the villains because I'm still thinking I'm gonna let you play the villains as well. It's just to fill the story out. You're not gonna change. This isn't one of those deals where uh, your choices like change the outcome of the game kind of thing. And I know that's a thing you can do, uh, um, and if you're good at that, you can be good at that. What it requires, though, it requires a bunch of forward thinking, and you have to be consistent, and you have to remember what does what, and you have to remember. And then also with adventure games, you're kind of get into the territory of, well, what if you do all this work and they just completely bypass it by going on a different route, and then in that case, you don't really want to. you don't want to do too much to where they can completely skip everything. You want them to be able to experience different things. Skipping things, sure, if you can be sure that they'll play it again later to get the different outcome, right? And in some cases, you wouldn't do that anyways. Like I wouldn't do that very much. Um, it's like alternate ending, right? Or extended version or whatever uh, in a movie, and you get the disc home, and then you watch the theatrical version, but the not the extended version, right? Um, and later on, you might do the extended version, but that's only an if. You may never watch the extended version. I mean, obviously, if you bought it, you probably would, but the thought here is you have the extra stuff that you did, and you might not never ever see it. So with a story of that type, where your choices actually affect the outcome of how the game goes, um, you can get too far afield. You can get into the woods, and you can get, you know, the scope could balloon, and there's a whole bunch of problems with that, and that's why you want to keep it. You want to keep it narrow, kind of a narrow in scope, right? It's like sort of like feature creep, but it's not exactly feature creep, but it's similar. It's where you have, oh, what if you did this? What if you did this? What if you did this? And soon it's like taking forever, and the game never gets done, right? But with a tight narrative, then and make it interactive, then you focus just on what you need there, and so that's really what I'm thinking about. So I want to make sure that in every chapter there's at least one decision point place, even if there's not that much to it, even if it doesn't change much. It's not going to change the outcome anyways. It's you're going to end at the same conclusion, at the same point, right? But in this chapter, there's not a lot of stuff for somebody to do, basically. Corvus steals from that. Player chooses whether Zanzibar encourages and ignores theatrically controls Corvus. If it private perception text. When Max publicly exposes Zanzibar, player chooses Zanzibar's immediate response to not bravado panic. Changes escape narration beats. Player chooses distraction method. Flashing magic. Yeah, that's the one thing that I was looking at that I might do. So what I might do is I might do a combination. I might do a like a tonal deal where it's basically just the talking thing. Uh, um, how do I say it? Let me think for a second. Oh, let me look at my text again here though. Uh, let's see here. Zanzibar travels to collects some tax money, puts collectors. So 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 basically, you have henchmen with uh. Okay, so okay, so I have a little problem. It's not really a problem. Uh, because they know that he's been taking the money, and thus, if he wants to stick it somewhere, he's got to be able to go off by himself someplace else, or he's got to. Uh, let's think about that for a second. Uh, if the henchman already knows everything, then hmm, saying they don't know where he hides the money. But what he has these guys at the show. They're watching him, so maybe they don't know that he's taking the money. Uh, How do they find out? How does he find out that he's taking the money? That's the question. So I gotta do a little tweaking in here. Anyways, there's going to be a deal where there's some flavor text, and then maybe at the end, the escape part, that would be another dealing. Okay, so I'm probably going to have two places. One for flavor text, and the other during Zanzibar's escape. However, I have a bit of an issue with how I wrote some of this. Okay, making sure I'm still on here. Am I still streaming? Yes, I am. Making sure everything is cool here. Cool. Retry. What is the problem? That's weird. Anyways, I have two problems. One problem is, how does he find out that Zanzibar has been skimming? And secondly, if the henchmen know, they already will know exactly where he put it. If they're able to watch him, if they're able to watch him close enough to know that he's stealing, they're able to watch him close enough to know where he's putting the money. So there's an issue there. There's a thing there that I have to address. Okay, I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna reload the page. Uh, okay. This one. Unable to load conversation. Whoa, what happened? That's weird. Oh, what's it suddenly? It's popping up. What's the deal? What is going on? Okay, let me put this off screen here for just a second. Uh, okay. Let's check. Settings. Okay. Good. What is it having problem with? I'm not having an internet problem, am I? Okay. Okay. No, I don't think I'm having a. Everything seems to be working there. Okay, so it's. Where are my chats? My chats are gone. There we go. Okay. Okay, so let's bring this back up. And let's check this out. Paste. Hopefully it'll come back and it will be able to answer here. Having a problem for some reason. And I guess maybe I won't get to use it. Which I guess maybe I shouldn't use it. I don't know. But okay, fine. Let's Let me pull up Claude. Well, I don't know. Claude isn't going to give me that much time. Only Grok and ChatGPT actually do that. The other ones don't. Maybe Google. I don't know. Maybe I should ask Gemini. I don't know if it'll come up with. Let's see. Okay, probably have everything I need in that. Uh, let's think something here. This isn't gonna work. This isn't going to. In fact, it's not even stopping or nothing. What the what? Um, pardon me. Excuse me. Here, let's go. Let's here. Let's do something. Where is interactive narrative game? Oh, dang it. Give me a second. Enter stupid verification code. Crap. Uh, Here, let me do something. Pardon me for a quick sec. Uh, Blank. Okay. I'm just checking my email, so 6 emails already. Cold. Not received. Just a sec. Okay. Allow remote content. Doggone it. It's oh, I'm to poop. No, I don't have. I have to sign it. I hate signing in with the stupid email link. I like doing it with the password, my name and password and stuff, or whatever. Doggone ya. All right, doesn't really matter. This works now. Let me turn my mail off just a sec. Delete. And let's check my spam folder. Okay. And let's just go ahead and close Thunderbird. All right, now let's switch back to desktop. Okay, here I am. Here I am back. I am back. Backity back. Interactive narrative game in Claude. Okay. All right. So, let's see. Apparently, okay. So, before it's a new day, that this day, February 4th, 2026. and I'm going to repost some text that I always post on a new conversation. However, I figure since it's been a while, I should go ahead and post this here. I can always still start a new conversation later. So here's the text. That. Now let's go to wait. Oh. I forgot. Okay, let's just I'll do it this ways. ChatGPT. Okay, and I won't worry about ChatGPT, but I will copy this text that I pasted here. Copy. Control V. Uh, okay. So let's pull up the text here. Actually, let's go ahead and copy it from here. I'm going to copy this here. And just like I posted in there, player decides whether he takes little or a lot. Depends. When Max finds out about ceiling, player chooses Max response. Confident immediately set a trap. Let it play out. Uh, that's okay. That's a thought. Max proposes the final show. The player chooses a response. Agree. Eagerly negotiate for more money. Be suspicious during the final show. Choose what tricks that performs or how elaborate the show is. After Max reveals, the player chooses Zanzibar's escape method, which tricks to use to distract the card escape route. It's upstairs window. Um. Yes. Firstly, I'm thinking. Um. Yes. Mostly these are good suggestions. I know. I'm going to do one about the escape. What he's going to use to distract the crowd. Um, Another one earlier in the chapter. But then I've also identified an issue with my own writing, or what you might think of as a plot hole. Um, so if he's if Max has his men following Zanzibar and basically knowing what he's doing, then they should probably be able to find out easily where he keeps the money. And then also, what was the other thing that I was saying? Uh, Let me go back to the text here. Charles Kluxman itself. Uh, so there's no need to search for it because by the time they inform Max, he already knows all the details. And if they don't, um, and if I'm being logical, the men can see, uh, can observe where he goes, but don't necessarily know that he's been skimming the top. So how does Max find that out? So either we don't know about it, so either they already know about it, or they have to find it out. So I guess I sort of wrote it wrong. I consider it kind of a whole. Here are the logical options. Max's men are following Zanzibar not because they suspect theft. Max finds out about the skimming through accounting. His bookkeeper knows numbers are Max sends men to search the room. Option 2, Max's men see Zanzibar pocketing money during a collection. Report it to Max. Max already knows where the stash is because they've been watching, so he just sends them to take it. No search needed. Option 3, Max isn't having Zanzibar followed at all initially. He discovers theft through accounting and then sends men to search. Uh, okay. That's, all right. Let me think here. Um, um, well, he does have to have some following the shows because what he's really doing, um, the tax collecting is just a casual explanation for why Max is helping him out. So he tells him, well, in exchange for helping you with your shows, you can do some tax collecting for me. That's just a cover for what he's actually doing, which is ab abducting audience members to work his his Max's minds. Okay. Now there's also an issue with that. Uh, Now there's actually an issue with that. I'm wondering if you could identify what the problem is with Max secretly abducting audience members from these shows. Um, just curious how you would um, curious if you can match what the issue actually is. Excellent takes a portion. No, but that's a good effort. This was more a curiosity thing. Um, the thing here is that technically Zanzibar is a villain. Of course, I didn't really mention that other than what he does. Um, he's a thief, a con, and um, he's escaping police when he enters into Enchanted lands. So my real issue is why would Max care about keeping this from Zanzibar? Um, since they're kind of on the same page. They're both villains. Why the secrecy? Max could just tell Zanzibar you do shows that take some audience members. We both profit. Zanzibar is a criminal anyway. He probably just negotiate his cut. Okay. So why does Max keep his secret from him? Possible reasons. Max doesn't trust Zanzibar not to demand more money if he knows. Max plans to eventually dispose of Zanzibar too. And that's actually the case, in a sense. Once deniability, Zanzibar is a scapegoat if things go wrong. It's just Max's nature to keep everyone in the dark about his full plans. Um, probably. Well, if you remember, if you remember from what I posted, what does he do? He betrays in the end, which was his actual plan. Just use him and then lose him when he no longer needs him. Plus, he doesn't have to pay him, and he gets to keep any money he has. His plan to betray Zanzibar from the start, so telling Z about the ejections means Z could demand a cut or blackmail him later. Z has no leverage. Max gets. Yeah, I wasn't thinking of blackmail and stuff. Not that Zanzibar wouldn't do that for money or whatever, but maybe to save his own neck, possibly. In fact, I could actually conceivably bring Zanzibar back in. Uh, like maybe they catch him later and he kind of throws him under the bus. It doesn't really matter though, because Max is just ultimate bad guy, and they want to get rid of him anyway, so that doesn't really matter. But so the blackmail thing is just kind of like, it doesn't really hold water, really. But yeah, that's about right. Although there wouldn't be a blackmail issue because Max is the villain, identified our heroes, and the other parts of the whole story defeat him. So they almost maybe if there's an issue with the fact so it's not like a trial, not like it ends in a trial with Z as a witness. Now, the one thing that could play in that way is the fact, I believe, at this point in... Actually, I don't know, at this point in the story... That makes me wonder now. Let's go look at the story here. The escape. She gets the plans. They're building the Omni machine. Nah, see, that's okay. I do have an issue, don't I? Max gets a clue. That's still part of Zanzibar. That's not what I'm... Okay. Lost in Lapswood. Okay. They catch up to Sir William as a unicorn. They're at the Bapton Belfry. Activate the machine for the first time. To do about Quicksilver. Roland. Kinds of people he spots. Okay, so at this point in the story, they do not know. They know about the disappearances. They don't know what's happening to the people. So that could be something I could exploit there. It's the fact that I believe that this point in the story, our heroes consists of halfway Hubert. Actually, supposedly he changed his last name, so halfway Hubert, halfway Hubert, Hubert halfway. Hubert. John, soon to be the princess. Don't know that people have been disappearing. Tourists and citizens alike, but don't know why or how or what's don't know why or how. Let's see. Later on, they meet Roland the oversized dwarf who's actually been in the mines and actually the mine Max's mines are located in the gnome kingdom, which is adjacent to the dwarf mines. Which Roland knows the way to since he is a dwarf that got kicked out. And Roland tells them about all the people that are in the Gnome Kingdom mining quicksilver for Max. So it's possible I could at some point have Z tell them where the people are before they meet one. But that's the only way Black would figure into this. Meet Roland. And Roland knows away since he's dwarf. Roland tells them all about the people that are in the Gnome Kingdom mining quicksilver for Max, so it's possible that I could at some point have Z tell them before they meet Roland. Black knows isn't really a factor. Max doesn't care about being exposed. He's the known villain. The key issue is, does Zanzibar learn about the objections and potentially tell the heroes, or does it stay ignorant? If Z finds out about the mines, he could give the heroes info earlier, but if Z stays in the dark, Roland remains the crucial informant. Either way, it works story-wise. I guess the point is I don't care if I guess the point is I don't care if he knows. Yeah, I don't really care about that. Uh, ah, but something just occurred to me. He's keeping it secret from Max because he's keeping it secret from Z because maybe he's going to put Z to work for him in the mines anyway. But then that negates the whole escape thing. So I have some thinking to do. In any case, I'm going on break for an hour. Pardon me. And I'm still, yeah, okay, I'm still there, and audio's still there. Oh, I see why I have this tilted down. I had it tilted down because sometimes my chin is down, and I wanted to keep my face in the thing at all times. Uh, and I'll be back later. Oh, it said I had 90% my limit, so I guess after this, yeah, um, Cloud won't be able to do that though until after. And this is the sort of the way the rest of them work. But what ChatGPT does is it switches to a different deal, and then Grok gives you enough time where it doesn't matter um, if it cuts you off. See, you use 90% of your session limit. Okay, so I gotta just say thanks for joining me for part one, and I guess I'll see you in about an hour. And I have a feeling that I'm gonna resolve this by the next half, and we'll actually be done with chapter 9 in the next half. I may not get to the mapping thing today, but we'll have chapter 9 done today, and we'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching part 1. Thank you for watching part 1.